Hi everybody, and welcome to another video. This time I'm going to be doing something a little different from usual. It's double unboxing, two divers, and it's a mini review with some loom shot goodness. So stick around and enjoy the video. Greetings watch peeps, and welcome to another episode of Scottish Watches Unboxed. A special episode today. Two watches going to be unboxed, a Seiko and an Orient. They're quite similar and quite different, so stick around and have a look. So here it is, the box for the Seiko 5 Sports. This relatively new and a controversial little piece that came out that was replacing the SKX. God, there was a lot of row on the internet because of this watch, because it's no longer a real diver watch, but I think Seiko hit them out pretty close, because it's a pretty good little watch. So let's have a look. Very, very simple box. You can see where Seiko saved money here. Very simple indeed. Look at that. Shout out to Grimaldi, where I bought the watch. Usual a million paid instruction manual. Very small and very, very eco-friendly, cheap packaging. There you go. Tiny little box. Watch comes on a little cushion. And yep, there we go. Nothing special about the box, but as we say in the watch community, it's all about the watch. So now that we got rid of all that boxing mumbo jumbo, let's have a look at the watch. Of course, now we can see that it's closely related to the SKX with the Crown 4, day-date complication, hands, but then we see the differences. Unsigned crown, not a screw-down crown. Of course, it's all stainless steel. It's got a dive bezel, but it's not really a dive bezel. You can't use this watch for diving. First thing, it's only 100 meters water resistant, so it's not certified for diving. And it doesn't have a loom pip. So there you go. Kind of fake bezel, fake diving bezel. But nonetheless, it's not that bad. Finishing is pretty average Seiko at this price point. The bracelet is this fake 3-link. This isn't a real 3-link, I believe. Let's turn it around. It could be, I don't know. Yeah, probably a real 3-link bracelet. But hollow end links and a pretty cheap, ugly press clasp. That's where Seiko is saving money. Another place it is saving money is the crystal, which is just hardlex. It's not sapphire. But apart from that, I mean, this is a pretty stunning looking piece. The great gold gilt hands, shade of green is very nice. And of course, as is in usual Seiko fashion, the Riho and chapter ring is not aligned with the bezel. Yeah, there you go. It's blatantly off, but that's Seiko for you. If it comes lined up, it's probably a fake Seiko. So there you go. Seiko 5 Sports, very attractive, I have to say, very attractive, but with its little cost-cutting shenanigans there. Nothing much you can say about that. Now, let's have a look a little closer. Let's dive into the dial. But you have to admit, that dial is stunningly good looking. It just looks great. Seiko 5, Seiko S5, a new logo. I actually like that quite a lot. That automatic in cursive font is nothing to write home about, but it's okay. It's a bit funny to look at, but it's okay. Apart from that, I love the look of this watch. It's just classic Seiko, and there's no two ways about it. It's incredibly attractive. So, what about the loom? Well, as is in Seiko fashion, the loom is pretty darn impressive. It's just fantastic. You can't beat Seiko for loom. It's just great. It's got that great green tinge to it, and it'll go on all night, no problems. You won't be having any trouble seeing this watch in total darkness or when you get up in the morning to see what time you have to go to work. So all in all, great little number from Seiko. Attractive watch, not without its flaws, but I think the flaws the plus points overweigh the flaws. I love this watch. Don't wear it much, but I really love it. And on to the Orient. Orient has gone a completely different way, gone down a completely different road here, and the box is like bloomin' enormous. It just is. So it's big, and it's also difficult to get open, which is okay. Double boxed, so they saved no money on this box, not at all. Okay, let's get rid of this junk. Useless double box. And here is the inner box, padded, quite nice actually, and there's the watch. Inside, soft little cushion, manual. So +1 for the box and the Orient, even though you're just going to put it away and never, ever, ever look at it again. And here is the Kamasu diver. So let's have a look closer up. Orient have gone a different way from Seiko, style-wise. First of all, this is a true diver watch. So it has a screw-down crown and it has a lume pip on the bezel. So this can be used for diving. It is also 200 meters ISO certified, so it is a real dive watch in every sense of the word. Also, I got this watch for basically priced at half the price of the Seiko, so that's pretty amazing. Has more than the Seiko. It has a sapphire crystal. The Seiko only has hard legs. But for the rest of it, it's got a aluminum bezel, screw-down crown. One thing I hate about this watch is this dainty little crown, which is a nightmare to screw and unscrew, especially because of these really tall crown guards. Apart from that, finishing, I'd say, is on par with the Seiko. It has the same, actually. If you look at this bracelet, it's a photocopy of the Seiko 5, which is the Seiko Sports, which is unsurprising since Orient and Seiko, at least on paper, Seiko is the parent company for Orient. So terrible pressed clasp, pressed clasp, and it just looks bad, honestly. And the same with the bracelet, got a hollowish links, hollow end links, and the back is not a display back. It's actually a quite nice, solid back with a little engraving on it, which is cool. And mostly the finishing is similar. So we've got high polish all over, bit of brushing here on the top of the lugs. And to be honest, the dial is actually quite stunning as well in this black version. There is also a green, a red, and I think a blue version, if I remember correctly. So we've got, but I think it's a stunning dial, but it's not as smart looking or as sexy as the Seiko. I really like the Seiko dial. It just attracts me more than the Orient. But the Orient has better specs, better diving chops, and that's what most people are looking for. They want specs and not looks. Not to say that the Orient is a bad-looking watch. I think just the Seiko looks better, but that's just my opinion. But apart from that, the finishing is as spot-on as the Seiko. Nothing to say there. Up close and personal with the Orient, looks great. I mean, the finishing on the dial, from this point of view, looks pretty fantastic. I like the red-tipped second hand. It still has italics, water-resist text on it. It looks as though they can't, in the Seiko group, they cannot keep back from using italic fonts on their dials. Also, both the automatic and the water-resistant, these funny italics, which it has an applied Orient logo on top of the Orient text, which I think is quite attractive. And there you go, nice big hour markers, very readable in all light conditions. It doesn't have any anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal, but like I said, this is a watch that I got for 150 euros, which is pretty amazing. The Seiko is double the price, so I'm not complaining. And it's a really nifty little piece. Even up close, finishing is way over its price point. And of course, we're gonna have to look at the lume. And there you go with the Orient. I mean, look at that. It's even better than the Seiko, I think. It's sharp and shiny lume that will keep you up at night if you don't put it in drawer, and it just looks absolutely stunning. Better than the Seiko. If I remember correctly, this Orient was won one of Jodie's Lume Wars in Just One More Watch. Oh, was a finalist in a Lume Wars episode. So congratulations, Orient. You're probably using the same luminous material as the Seiko, but you sure put a lot more on it, and it shows. Kudos. So there you have it, the Orient Kamasu. Nifty little watch, great specs, great finishing. What can you say? It's just a great alternative to the Seiko. If you like its style, go for it. And here they are together. Fantastic, both of them. On the right, the Seiko 5, you get a more expensive, but you buy the brand and you're buying the looks, not buying the specs. On the left, the Orient, much cheaper. The brand is arguably less prestigious than Seiko, but it gives you all the specs of a diver watch. It's slightly funkier, maybe slightly less attractive or less cool looks than the Seiko, but it's attractive in its own way. Thank you for watching this video. I encourage you to watch the other stuff on the Scottish Watches Unboxed channel. There are some pretty nice ones out there. As always, this is Gigi at Time to Talk Watches signing off. See ya!